Hello friends, let's continue our video from the Rewrite API topic. In this session, we will explore the WP Rewrite class from the WordPress core files. So let's dive right in. The WP Rewrite files are located in the WP Includes folder and are loaded when WordPress initializes. This core class is responsible for handling the rewrite component. Essentially, it acts as a front controller for WordPress, but it doesn't fully manage the front-end functionality. In other words, it doesn't dictate how the template files are loaded based on the rewrite rules, but rather it handles the rewrite rules and the site's permalink structure. Now, let's go through it step by step. So, there are several properties available. As you can see, we have the permalink structure shown in the outline. This allows you to set the permalink structure for posts. So as you might recall, the permalink structure you configure here will be stored in this property or retrieved from the database in the options table. So if you visit the database and go to the options table and scroll down below, you will be able to see the permalink structure option. Specifically, the permalink structure option stores whatever permalink settings you have configured in the admin area. Now, moving on, we have the use trailing slashes property. As mentioned in the previous video, you can either remove or add a slash. So if you visit the permalink settings in the backend, you can remove the slash at the end of the URL, and it will be removed from all URLs, including the posts, custom post types, custom taxonomies, etc. To remove the trailing slash from the URL, you must modify the permalink structure. So the use trailing slashes setting will be either true or false depending on this property. Then regarding the author base, if you'd like to change how the author page URL appears, you can adjust the base here. For example, if you visit the site's front end and go to any post, click on the author archive, you will be able to see the URL structure. And you can see the URL has articles in front as we set it as the prefix, but the base is still author. So the URL looks like articles/author/articamp, where articamp is the author's nice name in WordPress. This is how the author archive page URL structure is created and generated. If you'd like to change the author base, you can do so using the author_base property, but we will cover that in another video. Then, similarly, we have the author structure, which defines the author permalink structure. We also have the date structure and the page structure. Next, if you want to modify the search base, that's also possible using the search_base property. For instance, if you visit the front end of your site and remove this and type search/blog, then the search page will show the results for that term and displaying all the matching results for the block keyword. So this way, if you want to modify the search base, that is search, you can use this property of the WP rewrite class and update it accordingly. This will apply the new rewrite rules to all the search page URLs. Next, we have the comment space for the comment URLs, which is comments by default. Then there is the pagination base, which applies to all the paginated URLs. For instance, if you go to the blog page in your site and scroll down below to the pagination and go to the second page, you'll be able to see the word page in the URL. If you want to change this word to something else, you can do this using the pagination base property. Similarly, comments are also managed through a pagination base, that is the comments pagination base property. For example, if you go in the front end and go to any post which has multiple comments and scroll down below to the comment section, as you can see, here are multiple pages of comments. I have set the comments per page to 5 in the discussion settings. So if we go to the older comments, the URL will show comments-page-1 along with the comments as a section ID. This means the database pulls data based on the comment pages and its structure. Moving on, we have the feeds property. As for feeds, WordPress also provides an option for the feeds. For instance, if you want feed for a particular post, you can just add feed to the URL and it will generate an XML feed. If you are looking for a list of feeds, you can use /feed in front of the site's domain to get a list of feed for all the posts. So to modify the feed, you can adjust the feed base property. The structure of the comment feed is defined by the permalink structure, and then is the feed structure for all the default feeds or requested permalinks. After that, we have the front property, which, if you recall in the previous video, we saw the permalink settings in the backend. The permalink settings configured for the numeric structures have archives, but for our custom permalink structure, we have articles as the front. So this is saved in the front property of the WP rewrite class. Finally, the root property is the initial prefix for all the permalink structures. Then we have the index.php file, which serves as the entry point for all the requests. Now let's take a look at some other elements, like we have the rewrite rules. They can be matched against the rewrite or a query. After that, we have the extra rules and the extra rule stop property, which are the additional custom rewrite rules added through the add rewrite rule function. We will cover how to add custom rewrite rules in a future video. Next, we have the extra permalink structures property. And there are several properties here. You can explore them one by one. Then there is the rewrite code property. So in this property, we have used these codes. So if you visit the permalink settings in the backend, you can see these codes being used as the placeholders here. These codes are used to replace values when the rewrite rules match using a regex expression. After that, we have a rewrite replace property as well. This property will match the regex expression, which corresponds to the rewrite code. For instance, for the year, it should only be of length 4 and have the digits from 0 to 9. For the month and day, regex is also applied, and query variables are used. The query format, such as year equal to XX and month equal to XX, is used in the WP query as well as in the rewrite rule. In another video, we will discuss how this query replace variable is used. Lastly, we have the default fields. WordPress provides support for several types of feeds, that is, feed, RDF, RSS, RSS2, and Atom. These are the default supported feeds in WordPress. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Jai WordPress.